Carl, welcome to this week's edition of In the Dugout. We'll start off with a couple of questions from the fans, two that are quite similar, from Adam Cam and Dom Howarth. They ask about the Dons giving discounts to Forces veterans. Just explain to us a little bit about what the club already do in that manner.
In one-off games, or
they just ask what the club do to provide discounts.
Well, we obviously everyone knows we do a game for Liam Morn every year, and we have done, I think, for the last 5 or 6 years now, where we give discount to Forces people on that day. But everyone knows that we chose Liam as our hero. Everyone knows his story, his background, what happened. So again, we'll have one of the bigger games. We'll have a game for Liam Morn, and there'll be discounts for the Forces on that day. But you know, that's what we do. And we do discount the tickets for them on that day. Obviously, everyone knows our season ticket was very, very cheap this year. So I don't know if that answers their question. But you know, do we give one-off discounts, or is it for every game? You know, if they want to email in, and then we can take it further. But if they're asking what we do for Forces, we feel we do a really good service to Liam.
One from Malcolm Astle: if all the fans are in the West Stand for a game, would it be possible to get video shot from the other side of the stadium, as it looks like at times we're playing in an empty stadium, which is a true point, to be fair? Yeah,
well, that's probably one for you guys to answer that and have a think about that. But fair call. I think it's a fair call.
Depends on power sources and different things like that. It's not just a case of
to
just put the
I watched the highlights and it looked like there was no one there as well. So I think it's a really justified question, and you know, thanks for that, because that's exactly what we want. Feedback, and unless we put a few cardboard cutouts and all the fans over there. But no, valid question, very valid question.
Looking back at the weekend then, a 60-0 win against Hemel, it looks like a great win, and it was in many ways. We kept Hemel scoreless, but it was a game where we didn't really get into full flow, did we? We did what was needed without really breaking too much of a sweat at times.
I don't know, sometimes I'm baffled, because what do people want? Do you know what I mean? If the game was closer, we would have got annihilated. 60-0, the pleasing part is the 0. And when you play in a game like that, it's easy to let a couple of tries in, but we have to give a bit of credit to the players for keeping them scoreless. That's a big ask, and very hard to get up for games. You know, everyone's seen their score the week before, but I'm baffled if people aren't happy with that. That's, you know, give the players some respect, and you know, 60-0. That don't happen in rugby league every day, so it doesn't matter who you're playing. You know, some of ours are very, very hard to please, and we know that. You know, they'll always have their say, and probably we may be a bit to blame for that, because we always let them have their say, and we always respect them and listen to them. But I'm not gonna cop players in the club getting any you know, flack for winning a game 60 points to 0. So come on, things can change in the next 2 weeks. We've got a massive 2 weeks coming up, so we'll be right, mate. You know, Mr. Lockwood trying to pull faces in the window there.
Plenty of positives from the game. You look at the likes of AJB and Wellham coming in and scoring tries. They've done everything that Richard Horne probably asked of them before the game. They haven't had much game time this season, but when they have, they've come in and done a good job for the team.
Yeah, a lot of the boys know it's this season. It's about the squad, and when, you know, Rich will try to obviously give them a game, but it's about the squad. They're a vital part of our squad, and they have to understand and realise, and the supporters have to understand and realise that it's a squad. He can only pick 17 players. You know, if we had, like years gone by, probably 25, 30 players, all the arguments were, why is he not playing, why is he not playing? Because everyone has their favourites. Like I've said it numerous times, if you picked the team for this week and I picked it, supporters picked it, and Rich, we'd all pick different team. You know, and everyone's got the favourites, and sometimes the favourites don't get picked, and and there seems to be a, oh, why is he not playing? He's, you know, it's a squad thing, and it's hard, difficult, isn't it, to try and explain it. But you know, we need to. Richard picks teams to win games, and that's it.
Big couple of weeks coming up then. A big tough game against what is, we've said before, it's virtually as tough as a Super League game, the way that Featherstone have been going, and then Bradford the week after, probably what's going to be the toughest game of the season so far. It's a case of the players are going to have to be up for this, aren't they? Because if you can't get up for these sort of games, then you shouldn't be playing rugby league.
Well, it might sound like I'm stressing a little bit about them, but I'm not about them. They're easy. That's the buzzing time. You know, look, that's when we are up and we're ready and we're rocking and rolling. You know, Evan John Kears talked about us a few times on his interviews, so he knows the importance of the game, but he's looking forward to the game as well as we are. So Featherstone is a good dress rehearsal for the Bradford game, but again, where we're playing, we're now patched, so it's not. They need to be worried. We don't need to be worried. We're all right. We're at home. We'll come down. We'll embrace it. We'll enjoy it. Two good crowds. You know, this is probably going to be the biggest crowds we may have at the Keepmoat for the last 10 years. So I think we all need to get the town needs to get down here, support us. The players are looking forward to it. Richard won't have to say much this week. No doubt. The boys will be ripping in at training because they'll all want to get picked. So these games are the easy ones. The hard games is when you're playing your Himmels and your Coventrys. You've got to be mentally switched on. These games, no problem. So let's all look forward to it. Let's all embrace it, and they're going to be good. They'll be good, and it'll give us a good test to see where we are too. Because one thing we're not doing here, we don't get above ourselves. We know where we are in the pecking order, and you know this is a good gauge for us. Two solid teams who we're going to play. One probably the same ambition as us, and Featherstone got ambitions to be in Super League and a great run club.
Is it a bit of a free hit for the Dons this week? Do you think the fact that we're going into it as underdogs, and obviously rightly so with where Featherstone are in the championship table, so we can go at it and play our game, as long as we play with that discipline, whatever we come out with, it's sort of, as the Hemel game was a game where you couldn't really win, if you like, because if you win by 60 you said, well, you should be. If you don't win by that many, people are asking why not. Well, the Featherstone game, if we get close to Featherstone, people are saying, look, you're not far off it.
It's not a free hit. It's all part of the plan. It's part of the journey. It's a dress rehearsal for the bread and butter stuff the week after. What a great game to have before we're playing the mighty Bradford Bulls. Do you know what I mean? So we'll prepare. We'll be ready. We'll have no excuses. Come the end of the game, whatever happens, happens. But our players will all go out and give it everything they've got, and you won't hear any excuses from us at the end of the game of result, win, lose or draw. We'll be happy. You know, this game this weekend's massive for us. It's huge. We've got to be. You just feel like you wish you were playing. It's times like these you wish you were still playing. You know what I mean? But Richard will have an easy week this week. All he's got to do is he's got to guide them, you know, and rein them back a bit, I suppose, because they'll be flying and training, and everyone will be wanting to knock hell out of each other in training so they can get a spot in the team. And the players know that the crowd's going to be big. These are the games they want to play in, and let's just see where we go with it, and you know, all enjoy it. And you know, we'll all, after the game, if we win, everyone will be, our expectations then when we play these other clubs will be, gee, you need to win them by 80. So just take it a game at a time.
What are your thoughts on Featherstone then as a club? I know there's a lot of people that you know well there, and the recruitment policy has been really good in the past couple of seasons. They've brought some established Super League players like Gareth Hock, who's come in and now establishing himself in the Championship again, and they've recruited very tidily, haven't they, over the past couple of seasons?
They're a great club. I was lucky enough to have a couple of years there and captain them, and they're a fantastic club. But Mark Campbell's just took them to another level. The Championship is a tough league now. You know, it's so is League One is a tough league. We're all talking about the top half of League One could compete with the the bottom half of the championship. Well, we're playing the team second in the championship, and a club that, like you say, is littered with stars all over the field, and we respect them immensely, and I always have my eye on what they're doing, and if we can take anything from them, and I'm on the phone regular to Mark, and always have done over the last 10 years. He's rang me about things, and I always ring him. But, you know, again, he probably a fellow who doesn't get the recognition and the credit he deserves for what he's done for that club. And then he's brought David Longo in, who's really, you know, doing a lot of good stuff off the field. So good club. They're ready. They're not far off to go to the next level and get into the Super League. You know, if you look at the stadium, the facilities, the players, they're close, and you know, I wish them nothing but success, and hope, you know, that they get to the dream of the Super League.
And the sponsors for this weekend's game?
Yeah, our main man, Paul Bloor, IFS Risk Solutions, backs us to the hilt. Honestly, I said this last time, only a few weeks ago, if anyone wants any insurance or something, please go through Paul, because, you know, he's forever sponsoring our club and forever sponsoring games, and I know he has a little bit of affiliation with Featherston as well, hence the reason he's sponsoring again so quickly. So we've got a lot of love and respect for him and their company, IFS Risk Solutions. If anyone needs any insurance, please contact them.